Today is what day? Monday,
May 15th.
May 15th. It is now 8:26 p.m. I believe we've got about 63 degrees, 4-mile-an-hour wind out of the north. Brad, in my opinion, this is the best night.
Yeah.
Like ever. Basically ever in the history of the earth.
I would agree with that. I'm not going to lie, though. It was one of those, do you wear long sleeves? Do you go with the pants? Do you rock the shorts with the long? Like, I know what to wear. Because it's so perfect. Like, it's one of those where in an hour, it might be chilly.
But we're moving.
We're
motoring. In my opinion, it is always sleeves weather. Unless it is, unless we're talking like 80 or above.
Right, I would agree with that.
So I never thought twice about like wearing the sweatshirt like I am right now. Shorts, I went with my gut, and it is large right now. I mean, yeah. And I just felt like it was shorts weather, and I'm going to take advantage of it. And I think I made the right decision. So I'm not mad.
We'll see what mine feels like in an hour.
Right. Well, let's first off, I want to apologize to our fans for taking such a long time to get podcast episode number 8 out. Life happened.
It did.
A lot of stuff going on, and
I feel like though it's just that time of year, which is part of it.
It's unbelievable what's happening right now. There are no kids in school right now.
No. Well, not in the high school.
Not in the high school. Yeah. Those activities are I mean, one's ending, another's starting, basically.
Right.
You're getting all your end of the year stuff done at the end of the year. And
I know it's chaotic for us. I can't imagine some parents right now. Like, you have elementary dress up days.
Yeah.
Middle school kids are kind of all over the place with field trips and
trying to organize getting lunches for all those guys and stuff like that. Like, man, our time is just beginning,
Right.
Like, I'm trying to figure out, the dress up days and how we can handle that in every morning.
Right.
Man, it's rough.
It is.
So, but we're surviving.
We are making it through.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Got a couple weeks left, and then starts the summer. Just a quick recap. We had our most listened to podcast last week or 2 weeks, whenever it was, and it's really no surprise.
No, it wasn't.
I mean, you have somebody, with the caliber of Brady Driscoll on the show, like, you're going to get listeners, you're going to get followers.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure he put it on his Facebook, so we had all, some LPC people, I'm sure, tuning in. I haven't looked at the analytics of it all yet, and I don't know how anyway.
Yeah. Be interesting.
It would be interesting. So that was good. And this is nothing against Carter Hoff, but Carter's was just so, like, it was not planned.
Complete spur of the moment.
So we did the best that we could, and we did pretty darn good.
Yeah.
I'd love to have him back.
Yes.
And I think he would like to come back because, I think he had some deer in the headlights going on. He forgot what he was going to say. He had all these ideas. He completely in the whole idea of fandom.
Right, blanked.
Just totally blanked. So, here we are again on a absolutely beautiful night. This is what spring is supposed to be.
Yes.
So we are here right now, and we are looking over the football field, otherwise known as the haymaker, we'll call it. Like, I cannot believe how much grass is on the field right now.
That.
I think we could sell a lot of grass clippings for somebody that wants to put it in their garden or something like that. Because it's bad or really good, however you want to look at it.
Well, I mean, you could that'd be great compost pile dirt right there.
Sure.
In like 2 years is the problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think you want it out there for 2 years.
That would kill everything. But underneath all the now cut up grass is one of the most thick fields I can remember that I've ever had the opportunity to mow.
Well,
so that's really good.
Yeah.
Whatever we did,
it
worked. So now we just got to keep it growing over the summer and all that stuff. So Anyway, let's get rolling into topic number 1 for the day. Much has been made known of the gambling situation going on at University of Iowa, Iowa State University, and apparently no other place in the United States or the NCAA. That blows my mind, but the DCI, I believe that's just an Iowa thing.
I think so too.
Was tipped off that there was illegal gambling going on by athletes at University of Iowa and Iowa State, and we don't know many details at all right now. But it's a really interesting topic because as anybody that follows any sort of gambling or whatever knows that this stuff is going on everywhere.
I don't know how it would not be going on everywhere.
So why Iowa? I guess that's my question. Why the state of Iowa? Why are we getting targeted right now? And yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't either. I have absolutely no idea. Okay, let's be honest. My question would be, are they betting on themselves? Are they betting on games that they are in? So, because to be investigated, that's what it sounds like they did.
I don't think so. I didn't get that vibe.
That's kind of the vibe I've gotten, but I don't know if it's true. They haven't said anything.
See, I got the vibe that it was mostly underage gambling, and no matter what, gambling by NCAA kids is illegal.
Right.
Like that's one of those things. When I was back coaching in college, one of the first meetings that you do, you bring in compliance, you bring in the athletic director and all their people and say, you cannot gamble.
Right.
Under no circumstances. Right. Now, back in 2006 to 2008 or 2009, whatever it was a lot.
Things were different.
A lot less accessible at the time. Now it's so easy to do.
Well, and I've heard the argument with name, image, and likeness. Like, why can't they? Now, I don't necessarily agree with that. But if I'm a college athlete and I want to bet on the NFL or Major League Baseball, something like that, like, why can't I? If I'm an athlete.
My thing is, if I'm a college athlete, you should not, in my opinion, you should not be able to bet on any collegiate sports.
I agree with that.
Especially not the sport in which you play, because that could open up a whole lot of stuff with throwing games, shaving points, whatever it might be.
Right.
That's a totally different beast.
Right. Now I've had the thought too. So you play football, I play basketball. I got some inside information on our basketball team and tell you to bet one way or the other.
Yep. That could be bad.
That can be bad.
So, in my opinion, to clean all that up, if you're a college athlete, you cannot bet on college sports.
Correct.
Okay. So then why are we not allowing, and I say we, why is the NCAA not allowing college athletes to bet on pro sports?
I don't know.
Do you think that the addition of NIL should increase betting, or do you think now athletes are kind of like, you know what, I'm making money, I don't need to do that?
I think it kind of goes both ways. Like now, not only am I making money, but I have a little extra money. And everybody else is betting, so why can't I? Why can't I take the extra money I've got and have a little more fun watching sports?
Because it's illegal.
Because it's illegal.
There you go.
Right.
Okay. So then going a step
if you get
further.
Caught.
Yeah. Well, okay, here's what I heard.
And that's the sad part is, like, I agree with you. Why is Iowa and Iowa State, the schools right now, being targeted when I have to believe that there are
it goes on everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. So why just here?
Now, there was a Jerry Tarkanian, Tark the Shark quote way back in the day, and I'm totally not right on the schools that he used here.
Okay.
Okay? But something to the effect of, Texas just got in trouble for recruiting violations, so Cleveland State's going to be on probation for the next 3 years. Okay?
Which is not wrong.
So they are punishing the small little schools in Iowa that don't have nearly as much power.
Yep. I agree with that.
In order to warn the big schools.
Yep.
That we're coming, so you better shape up.
Right.
Man, that is wrong.
Yep. But you can't punish Texas or Alabama or Georgia because those are your moneymakers.
And
they don't want an Iowa State or an Iowa in the Final Four in the college football playoffs. So
this year was just an absolute wreck for like the Final Four for basketball.
Right.
You had UConn, who's blue blood.
Blue blood.
Other than that,
no one.
Nobody. So that was a wreck. Now, what it just blows my mind though that they're only looking at Iowa.
Right.
And ruining, because Iowa baseball players are sitting out right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say ruin their season. I think they're doing pretty well still.
Yeah, not bad.
But it could make a big difference in,
well, your postseason run.
All postseason.
Now almost starting? Or has started? I'm not real sure.
I think, Big Ten tournament's going on, I believe. So, it's too bad.
Yeah.
Now, I did hear one thing that's really interesting. A professional basketball player was on a podcast this past week, and he said that he got in, an online or an account. I don't know what it was, DraftKings or whatever it was. But you have to go through all this stuff to verify who you are, right?
Yep.
On his app, it does not let him bet on, you can't even do it, bet on professional basketball games. Okay? So they know who he is and what he does. Okay, so if they do that for him, and he's not a very well-known professional basketball player, but they know who he is, okay? How long till they can do that to all college athletes?
Well, I was supposed to say, I think professional athletes are a little different because there's how many of them? I'm saying this as I don't really know the numbers off the top of my head.
Right.
But there's 30 on a football team?
More than that. 52.
Okay. A little off.
Just a tad. You didn't know.
Take that times how many teams?
So you 30, yeah.
So most people know those guys.
Yep.
But now you do that amongst college, where the roster's twice as big, where there's 5 times as many teams.
So maybe it's not feasible.
So do you even go down to you and I? I get your powerhouse conferences. You could probably do those kids.
Okay, so you just brought up another point to me. I guarantee it's happening at you and I.
Oh, absolutely.
So why do they ignore them?
Right.
Do you think it's happening at Drake?
Loris? Luther?
Warburg? All those places.
Let's be serious.
All those places. So why Iowa and Iowa State?
Right.
I don't know.
Now, and I didn't know the underage thing. Maybe that's more it.
That's what I took from the press release. I didn't take it as their point shaving. To me, the press release seemed like it was not that big a deal.
Right.
But guess what? When you start talking about gambling in college athletics,
that's all
the big newspapers, nobody reads newspapers, but all the big, everything, the headlines are going to be gambling in college.
Yes.
And it was just a really, it was a bad week for the state of Iowa college sports, which, we're a really proud state.
Those are our pro teams.
They're our pro teams. So that was bad. And I don't know if the average fan really paid attention, but it was a bad look on the nationwide scene.
Well, I feel like the way it came out didn't help.
Not at all.
It
was unfair.
Because
really.
they made it sound like there were a lot of players doing it. They had names. They had evidence that this was happening. And then when the press release came out, it was more like, well, we think this is happening. We're not 100% sure. So we're still investigating.
Well, it must be legit because for Iowa to be holding out baseball players,
Right.
Iowa State said that
But
there's 15 athletes that are being investigated right now. So like there has to be something if they're gonna suspend them.
but if I'm Coach Heller, I'm keeping those guys out.
You can't. They have to stay
because
out. They
if
have
you
to.
play them and they find out that they did this, when all those wins, everything is voided.
Yeah.
Like you're screwed.
No, they
Your
have
season's
to stay
over.
out. Yep. So it's unfair.
It is.
So then the next part. What type of punishment do these people deserve? Because if you remember, maybe you don't, Virginia football player
I don't know this.
self-reported, like seriously, self-reported. This kid, whoever it was, I don't know who, but he was a Virginia football player, self-reported to the NCAA that he gambled $400 on NBA Finals games. Self-reported, and he missed, I believe it was 8 or 9 games, suspended for 8 or 9 games.
Which is the majority of the season.
$400 of betting. Okay, so are we going to see that, or is the NCAA going to be like, are they going to change their ways? Because let's face it, the landscape has changed a lot in the last 2 years.
Well, we know that NCAA is not going to change. They're too old school.
Okay, so then when the SEC gets in trouble, are they going to say, you know what?
No,
Forget it. We're
that's
out.
looking the other way.
We're out.
They will look the other way for the SEC. You know that, and I know that.
Well, they have to.
Because unless it's like Vanderbilt or somebody, unless it's baseball, Vanderbilt baseball, they'll let that go.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt football, yeah, we'll punish you. Slap on the wrist. If it's Georgia, no way. Auburn, no.
It's such a double standard.
It is.
That, really it's going to force the NCAA to break up and become different governing bodies.
Yeah.
It's going to have to.
It will be.
And you just hope that, I think Iowa's in a good position. I really do think Iowa State's in a much better position than what they were 10 years ago. And so I think both of our in-state programs are going to be in okay shape. But it's just, as a traditionalist, it's sad.
It's
really,
yes,
really
is.
sad.
I agree with that.
I'm not saying gambling is right or wrong. It interests me. I've never really done it.
I've never done it.
But let's face it, it is a huge industry across the United States and probably the world.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So,
just think
it's
once
happening.
it became legal in Iowa, how quickly it exploded.
Yeah.
I mean, we got coworkers that gamble on foreign soccer just because it's something to do.
And you can't tell me they sit down and watch that whole game because I know they do not.
No.
I know they do not.
Now, and part of me wants to do it because I do think it'd make that boring Wednesday night, no one really cares about basketball game, a little more exciting that you've got some skin in the game.
Yeah.
But I know my wife and love her to death, but she would not go for that.
Yeah. Well, if you win.
If I win, she'd be all about it. And I know for me, it would become an addiction. That $1 bet, like, ooh, I got that one, would become $5 to $10.
Like $1 bets it's boring.
Right. It's when I drop 20 or 30.
That seems like a lot. Like in my perfect scenario, I would probably put $50 in the account, and I can say this now because I've never done it. But when that money's gone, it's gone.
Yep.
And I'm done.
Yep.
And I don't know if I know gambling enough to
I don't
win much.
I know I don't.
So I still don't understand everything with it, but I would not play unless I knew a lot about it.
Well, I won't make a bet with somebody unless I'm 99% sure I'm going to win the bet.
Well, because you're betting junior high kids the whole time.
That does help. Even if I was going to bet you, though,
you're not going to win.
I'm going to make the bet massively in my favor.
But see, the bets that you or I would make would be more about, like, embarrassing the other person.
That is correct.
It's not going to, odds are, it's not going to be a monetary type thing.
No.
So, and trust me, I've been on the wrong end of a lot of those bets. Not with you, I don't think.
Nope.
But Iowa State always seems to be a pretty big one around here for football anyway.
And I'm not going to lie, I've never taken an Iowa or Iowa State bet.
Oh.
And
wish I could say
and
the
this is
same.
why, because I know somebody's gonna be like, I bet that you have to wear an Iowa State shirt, and I
Yeah.
won't. And
Yeah.
I'm not. If I lose the bet, I know I need to pay up, and I'm not paying up that. I can't do it.
Well, I really hope my former neighbors are not listening to this podcast, because I still have not paid my debt for a bet, and I can't remember. This is a couple years ago. The Iowa State game in which they had the big rain delay,
Yep.
and then the fumbled punt at the
Yep.
end,
Which was phenomenal to watch.
Yeah, whatever. So we said that the losing family had to take family pictures wearing the other stuff and hang that picture on the wall for a year. And
You did not do that?
well, it just so happened that we're busy every weekend, and we just never had time.
Hey, the next time I'm over, we'll bring some clothes. I got a camera.
I'm bigger than you.
We'll just snap the picture quick.
That's not the same thing. These were going to be professionally done.
Oh man, that's
Professionally
awesome.
done. So, we had a really busy year. Didn't get to happen. And
3 years later.
Yeah, here we are. Then Iowa State finally won, so I feel like it's null and void.
I feel like you got to double down now.
I don't even know what that would mean.
2 years in a row?
No, that'd be too much. To this day, I've never worn a piece of Iowa clothing.
I will admit, I have worn an Iowa State sweatshirt on ugly sweater day at the middle school.
You would.
And most of the kids at the time, when they saw me, they're like, Mr. L, that's awesome. And I was like, but it's ugly sweater day.
Yeah,
and then it dawned on them, like, oh, that's not nice.
Right.
Like, well, it was the ugliest thing I could find.
Yeah. Good one. The oldest teacher trick in the book.
It is.
Yeah. So anyway, it will be very interesting to see what happens with that. Again, there's basically no details out right now. But that could severely impact Iowa State. I mean, how many games is it going to be? Who is it going to be?
Yeah.
So we'll see. But it'll be interesting. And I have not heard any behind the scenes reporting or anything like that to know what they're thinking at the moment. But I do not think it's going to be that big a deal. I really don't.
So do they get the cart in front of the horse and scream wolf when it's actually nothing?
No.
Or is this more of an eye-opener for everybody else?
I think it's going to be an eye-opener and a slap on the wrist that says, all right, we are the NCAA. We do need to make an example of somebody, whether it's 1 or 2 games. But the landscape is changing. Betting is legal if you're of age.
Right.
And it's not back in the day when you would, seriously, as of 2010, or maybe it was later than that, the rule was if you get caught gambling at all, your career is done.
Yeah.
So I think that mindset has changed quite a bit, I think. So I think it might be time to move on from the topic.
Okay.
Because it is that time of year.
It is. Graduation season.
It is graduation season. Wow. And what a heck of a graduation season it has already been through. I'll call it 2 weekends.
Yeah, I feel bad. We've missed a lot that we've been invited to.
Well, here's the thing. If you're a high school kid, you're doing your thing. You're handing out the invitations. You're sending the invitations. You cannot expect everybody to make it to your party.
I would agree with that.
Especially yesterday. It was Mother's Day.
Yep.
You cannot expect people if you're traveling to see your mom, then okay, so you didn't make it back in time.
Right. Yeah.
What do you do?
Right.
And I think that's a very good reason not to go.
Yep. Well, even Saturday night, we had some.
Mm-hmm.
Missed them because Kenley had her first dance recital.
And you're not going to miss that.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I'd love to make them all. It doesn't work in timing and schedule and everything else.
Yeah. There are grad parties this weekend, Friday night, Saturday.
Yep.
We'll be at state track.
Right.
So, I'm sorry. That's why, I participate in the senior supper at school. That's what it's for. So we don't feel like we have to go to everything. I paid for food and blah blah blah. So did that, but I still like to go.
Right.
I really do.
I do too.
I really think that it does mean a lot to our high school kids.
Yeah.
Whether, they played a sport for you or just got to know you through class or whatever it might be.
Well, I think for me as a middle school teacher, that shows like you made an impact on those kids. That they still remembered you 4, 5, 6 years later, that they want to invite you to a grad party.
Yep, for sure. So here we are in 2023, and you graduated from high school when?
07.
Holy cow, you're old. Anyway.
Yep.
2007. So has the traditional grad party, or maybe it's a location thing.
That's what I was going to ask you.
How we do things here versus how you did things at home.
Right. So you explain your grad party, and then I'll explain mine, and then we're going to talk if it's a geographical thing or not.
Okay? So around here, the traditional way of doing things was, basically the majority of them go on, either a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
Yep.
Towards the end of the school year.
Yep.
And it's typically like a 3-hour deal. You have some sort of meal. Typically, now that has changed.
Okay.
Over the last couple of years, we've got some people that, some do. I wouldn't, me personally, like I don't call nachos a meal.
Correct.
But I love them. Like, so everybody understands, like you can't eat a full meal at all these places. So now we've got people that just do, it might be a dessert thing, or and
cookies,
we still do, or
cupcakes.
Yeah, we still do have people that have the meal. The majority of them that I've been to have been a full meal. And by golly, my waistline shows it. But I do think it's changing a little bit. Like way back in 2002 at mine, we had, I believe it was like barbecue pork.
Yep.
And potato salad. And we had raspberry parfait little cups from Peppercorn Pantry.
Nice.
Shout out to Mary Meyer, best cook ever. Baker, whatever you want to call that.
Yep.
Phenomenal. So, what's it like in your home?
They're like, all of them are after graduation.
Oh.
Very rarely do you get one before graduation.
Huh.
Because it's a party after you graduate. Like, do you throw your rehearsal before you get married? No.
I agree with you.
So all of them are after, which makes for a very hectic June.
Man, that you feel like that could just kind of drag on and on.
It kind of does. But a lot of them are done within the first few weekends of June.
Yeah. So you just got to get through 2 weekends. Done by Father's Day.
Right. The crazy part is that then you get some, like we graduate on a Wednesday. I graduated on a Wednesday.
Really?
Not on a Sunday.
Jeez.
Yep. And then we had my graduation party like the next weekend. So you get the end of May, the first 2 weekends in June are most of the grad parties.
Mm-hmm.
And they are parties, like full meal, pulled pork, turkey dressing sandwiches.
Jeez.
Made right.
So do you invite less people?
No. Like, there's way more people invited. And they stay longer. Like, you literally show up and hang out for hours.
I feel like you're making our graduation parties look like nothing.
I'm just like
that's
what
like
it was
a
back
kindergarten
then.
Christmas party.
That's what it is back
hour.
there. Cookies. Like, if you were a big time spender, you got the ice cream machine.
Man.
Like, mine started, I think, 4 or 5 in the evening. And we started picking up chairs, I think, at midnight.
Jeez. You really want to know what I think the biggest difference is? Happened in Parkersburg, we expect our kids to graduate.
And maybe that's it. I don't know.
It is an expectation that we walk the stage.
Well, I feel like that was at our school, too.
Oh.
But yeah, like it was a big deal.
Well, I'm telling you, the last thing I need in 11 years or whatever, 8 or 12 years when my daughter graduates is her to say, Dad, I want my party to be 6 hours long.
No, don't get me wrong. Like, not everybody stays. Like, you end up with family that stays or really close friends.
Right.
But, yeah, like, it took forever.
Man. We've been doing it wrong this whole time.
I don't know.
Maybe we need to change that around
Now,
here.
sadly, like, part of me looks back at our grad parties and compares them to what we have now. Like, as an adult, I much prefer the ones here.
Well, yeah, of course.
Because,
Grab and go.
right, like, with a busy schedule, 3 kids, like, there's no way we could hang out for a super long time without them getting squirrely, running around.
I went to 3 parties yesterday by myself.
Yeah.
Did not eat a single thing.
That's impressive.
I mean, I felt bad, but
I usually grab something.
well, I made up for it with having like 10 cake balls at the last one I went to. So,
Yeah.
whatever. That's why we're walking today.
Right.
But makes you wonder if we've been kind of doing it wrong here the whole time. I thought it was great.
Or are you doing it right and we've been doing it wrong?
Depends on how you look at it. It
Right.
really does. Because ours was probably more efficient economically.
Correct. Oh, location is another thing.
Okay.
All of our grad parties were at our houses.
Yeah.
You didn't rent a place or a church or anything. Like, it was at your house.
I feel like that's kind of changed over the
Which I would agree with.
Because I had mine at my house, and mine was, our house is like 2 miles west of Appleton.
Yeah.
Out of town.
And talking to some people that have had seniors, like, it makes sense why you would have it somewhere else.
Heck yeah, it makes sense.
Like, I don't have to clean my house. I don't have to have strangers walking in and out.
Where's the bathroom?
Right. You don't have to clean up the mess before and after. It's somebody else's problem.
Yeah.
So I totally get it.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I wonder how early you've got to book your venue.
That's a good question.
Because, I mean, the plan is, okay, you're going to graduate, right?
Yep.
That's the plan.
Yep.
So really, like, a couple of years in advance? 1 year in advance?
I don't know.
A couple of months in advance?
That's a great
I feel
question.
like we need to find that out.
We do.
We only got 12 years to think about it. Maybe we should book it now.
Yep. Boy, that's really banking on our kids graduating.
Well, I mean, they have our genetics, so
That's true.
it's pretty much a done deal.
Yep. We made it this far.
Might as well bank on a valedictorian while you're at it.
Well, I wouldn't go that far with my
Okay,
kids.
yeah, I don't know.
But
I don't know. Hopefully they take after their mother's genetics anyway.
yes. Then we might be all right.
Okay, so in case you haven't noticed, we did have another pretty big holiday yesterday.
Yep.
Now, do you notice for Mother's Day, pretty much every year, it is crappy weather every Sunday of Mother's Day?
Now that you say that, yeah,
Everyone. And guess what? Father's Day,
it'll be nice.
sunny and 80.
Yep.
My wife seems to point that out to me every year.
I've yet to, now my wife will probably listen to this and bring that up.
And you know, there's a big point in me that it does feel bad. You wonder if if they took it for 10 years and just flipped them.
I'm not gonna lie, I wish they flipped them.
Really?
Yep. This
Why
is
is
why. And this sounds so dumb. For gift giving purposes.
You want to be first?
I want to receive first,
so you know.
so I know what I need to do in
That is
return.
tough. That is tough.
Because here's why I say that. I told my wife this the other day. She is the most simplest person ever, but the hardest person to shop for.
Yeah. Yep. Well, yeah, but you're with somebody for how long? Like, it's gonna get harder.
Yeah, it does. And if I ask her, like, what do you want? She'll say nothing.
Oh, I hate that.
I do too. But then, and I've done the nothing, and that's been kind of thrown back in my face.
Oh yeah.
So now you gotta do
That seems
something.
pretty common, though.
Right. So now you gotta do something. But what?
Well, here's what I'm finding. I think that the major bonus that we have now is the reason of Mother's Day you've got children.
Correct.
Your children are getting closer to that age where they can make things for your wife.
Yep.
In my situation, I feel like that's what she wants. Everything that the kids give her, oh, that's so awesome. This is great. And you know what? She's 100% correct.
Yep.
100% correct. I feel like everything I get, there's a little more like, okay. No,
that's what I got.
I can't say that. We had a good year this year. But.
So I got online, which maybe that's where I went wrong.
No. It's so right.
And started looking at like willow tree figurines.
Okay.
My thought was, I'm going to get like a family of 5.
Okay.
Kind of where our stage in life is now. Well, you could get that, but you had to piece it all together with what they had. Like, well, that doesn't work. So.
Yeah, but you're handy like that.
Well, I know, but I'm not going to go out and make them.
Oh, you actually had to make them?
No, like I had to purchase the male and the female and the baby. Like, I had to purchase all 5 figurines.
They didn't have a 5 family set. Wow.
No, right. So that kind of threw me off.
Yeah.
Like, all right, well,
frustrated.
What about Precious Moments? They got to have something. So I get online there. Of course, they're having their big Mother's Day sale. Yep. So start looking through them. I'm like, hey, I got it. I'm going to get one for each kid that they kind of match with my wife. Like what they do.
Okay.
So I do. I get one for Kenley. Them 2 are like sitting on a couch under a blanket. I wish they would have had like reading books or something, because that's what they do a lot.
Yep.
Haley does Jamie's hair. So there's one of a little girl combing her mom's hair. Yep. And then I just had one of a little boy like holding flowers saying mom's the best or something like that.
In my opinion, that's good work.
I thought so too.
Good work.
She opened them and it was kind of like the thank you.
Like what we're hearing right now? They're
yeah,
crickets?
like kind of like crickets. Now, mind you, I probably spent like 5 hours searching these things between willow trees and
you didn't even get out of your chair.
But you didn't get out of your chair.
Time. You were probably playing PlayStation while you were doing this.
No, I was not.
Gosh.
Was not.
Unbelievable.
No, I did play PlayStation after I got frustrated. Couldn't find anything.
The truth is coming out right now. You need to probably be quiet. If Jamie's listening to this,
I've already had this conversation with her.
Okay. All right.
And then I told her, like, I love the fact that she's not high maintenance and she doesn't expect
that's good quality.
Huge, elaborate things for Mother's Day and her birthday and all that stuff, because I'm not that guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I told her, like, it is frustrating when I spent some time trying to find the perfect gift, and she opens it, and the reaction I would expect did not happen.
Well, get used to it.
Yep, that's kind of what I've been. And later on, she did tell me, she's like, no, I really do love them. Like, she saw the box that they showed up in, so she kind of knew it was coming.
She think it was jewelry?
No, like the box it came in literally said Precious Moments on the return tag. I'm like, well, that's awesome.
Dead giveaway. Don't they know to disguise it a little bit better?
Well, they were supposed to email me when it was being delivered. I got the email the day later. She beat me home, saw the box. I'm like, oh, great, that's awesome.
Oh,
thanks.
Try so hard.
Yep.
You know, here's what I found. And I don't know why, but I get on CNN.com every morning. I don't know why. I read the news. I don't read the political stuff because I think it's slanted pretty heavily.
Yep.
So I don't really read the political stuff, but I think like the national news and stuff, they do a pretty good job. I mean, it's CNN, right? Like,
right.
There's a section when you scroll down on the page there's always something new. So like every couple days it changes. So like the top buys for Mother's Day on Amazon or something like that or whatever.
Yep.
When these types of holidays get closer, man, I am all over those things. And I look at it. Most of the time, it's ridiculously stupid.
Oh, I
I'm
believe
like,
that.
there's no way I'm going to get Carly anything of what's in that article. Even there's like 50 items. Like, no,
Yeah.
it's so dumb.
Yeah.
And I really think she would think so too. But they had something on there, and I thought it was just screaming at me, saying, buy me, buy me. They had one of the top 15 items bought on Amazon was a passport holder, like this pink thing you can put your passport in for traveling, and some other thing, almost like a purse kind of, but it had a picture of a passport on, blah blah blah. And I'm like, we're going out of the country here in a couple weeks. And it's like, you know what? We need that.
That's it.
So I got it, and maybe she was just, putting on a fake face, but I thought she's just saying, this is awesome. This is perfect.
Right.
So that was one thing. And in my opinion, Mother's Day is about flowers. No matter what else you get, it's about flowers.
See, I went down that road last year, did a phenomenal job, hit up the FFA plant sale.
Yes, you have to.
Jamie Prudence runs a phenomenal plant sale.
Oh my gosh, top 5 in the state.
Oh, easily.
And I don't even know who the other 4 are.
No. And he will say it's not him at all, but he plays a part in it. So good work, Prudence.
Might need to be a special guest on our show.
Oh, absolutely. So last year, went there, let the girls pick out plant for her, took it home, gave it some water, some fertilizer to help it grow. Within, I think, 48 hours, it was dead.
You killed it.
I killed it.
Jeez.
And I even followed the instructions on like the fertilizer, how much to give, all of that.
I don't think I've ever given a plant fertilizer.
Dead.
We just let it grow and usually let it die.
And that's probably where I went wrong. I should have just
don't overdo it.
Yep.
See, I kind of made a mistake, and this is why you should always read tags. I went up to the Parkersburg hardware store and garden center, which is, again, like if you went there, it is like you can't focus. There's so much
too
stuff.
Much. It's almost too much.
I don't know, because I think we're spoiled to have what we have.
I agree with that. Totally agree with that.
The Luring family has done an unbelievable job of expanding that thing. They have everything.
Yeah.
Everything that you could possibly want. But you go in there and it's just like I get a headache because of all the stuff going on and I can't focus. So I go in there and I'm looking at hanging baskets. We've got some things, some hooks on our front deck type thing that can hang baskets on there, and I don't read the labels,
Well, who does?
And it said sun, so I'm thinking, okay, yeah, we get some sun there. And Carla reads it, she's like, these things need 6 hours of sun a day, and like in the place where we put them, I don't know if it's going to get 6 hours of sun. So we're going to have to get strategic about that, but always read the labels.
Yeah.
If there is one. So we're not great at keeping plants alive. So we gotta make them look good for as long as we have them.
Yep. I'm surprised our landscaping plants have lived this long. Now, and it might seriously be because my mom came in, planted them, and did the majority of the work.
She knew what she was doing.
Yeah. My wife picked out what she wanted, and that was it. My mom did the work. I was kind of the grunt of the day.
Yep. Somebody's got to be that guy.
Yeah.
Did you do breakfast?
No.
Got to do breakfast next time.
This is really bad. I'm going to throw myself under the bus.
Okay.
But the kids and Jamie picked a movie to watch. Minions, Rise of Gru.
Okay.
I was the one that fell asleep during the movie. She did not. She stayed up late and watched it. Yeah. So on Mother's Day, I was the guy that got the nap, not the wife.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's always next year.
Yep. I'll do better next year.
So it was a good Mother's Day.
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
It's good.
That's what I said. I wish we went first. I would know what to expect then.
I already told Carly I don't really need any gifts for Father's Day.
That's what I told her.
Like, if kids want to make stuff, great. But you know what? I think it would be just fun to go out on a golf course for a day. Even though I'm horrible at golfing, I just think, like, I love being out on a golf course. I really do. And just hacking away. So I'm so sore. I know. Maybe on Saturday night.
There you go.
Something like that. Anyway, good talk tonight.
What?
Got a big weekend ahead. Man, somebody's grilling, and it smells great.
It smells really good.
State track this weekend. Bringing a big contingent down there.
No kidding.
Talented,
that's awesome.
Talented athletes. Perform, I think, the earliest is 2:40 p.m. on Thursday and Friday. And we go all the way until 8 o'clock. So, you know where to find me.
Well, tune in online.
Yeah. I think there's a stream, isn't there?
Yeah. I can't remember what.
Especially for girls, I can't remember exactly what the boy. I think it's for boys too. But Friday is a busy day. You will have that stream rolling the whole time, which is fun.
And honestly, it's a great stream. They do a phenomenal job of broadcasting it.
Good. Never seen it, obviously.
The only knock I would say is, and I don't know how else you would do it, any race you ever watch, 99% of the time the camera's on the leader.
Of course.
And that's probably the only downfall of state track is they focus solely on the leader. But whoever the announcer is does a phenomenal job of...
It's Track Guy USA himself, Mr. Mike J.
Like,
the best in the nation.
Does a phenomenal job of, even though the camera's on the leader, like, you can... You feel, where everybody else is at, how they're running. Like, phenomenal job.
Yeah. Mike J has... And first of all, like, I've got to meet the guy, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. He has motivated me. If I ever... decide coaching track isn't my thing, I would volunteer my services to sit up in the press box and do kind of what he does, and do do all the research and stuff leading up. And this would just be like the AP Co-Ed Invitational, right? Some 12-team little thing. But I would have all the information there because I truly believe that fans enjoy it. I think the athletes enjoy it because they want to know who they're going up against.
Yep.
And sometimes I don't even think some of these athletes realize, hey, our relay's kind of good.
Right.
We're like 10th in 2A right now or whatever it might be.
Yes.
So Mike J is one of my idols. So maybe we could get him on the podcast sometime. I doubt he's kind of busy, but you never know.
I feel like we need to make a list of all of our special guests.
Yeah, no doubt.
Sadly, we can't burn through them all. Season 1.
Well, you just got to... It doesn't mean that they just have to be on one time.
True. Well, Brady has already told me he'll come back.
Well, I think we had a good time. We did.
I'm not going to lie. I didn't say a whole lot because you guys were on your AP Union night kick.
You kind of made me feel bad because I didn't have... This is a two-person podcast with a special guest.
I'm a transplant, as some people say. I don't know all the history. Which we can dive into that later.
We can dive into that later. Maybe we'll have to dive into your history a little bit.
We should.
Anyway.
Next time.
I think that's all for the evening. Hope everybody has a great rest of the week. Brad, this is us signing off.
Hey, good luck at state track.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.